One story involving a book last May, a very famous book.
Was this
a book involving the color gray? Yes, please,
got it.
please state your name and if you have someone who is a parent in the building.
What's your occupation? What do you do for a living?
Go to school.
I want to, okay. What's your question?
My name is Jason, and I have a father. My father's name is Robert. He works right down the hall.
Robert who?
Melendez. What was your scariest time on the job?
Good question. What was your scariest time on the job? You've been in a lot of situations, I think, out in the field with a lot of people.
Can I tell them? It was actually recently. It was pretty scary.
Not if it's Connecticut.
Scary. There's someone who was out there who could have done harm to any person in the community or the media that the police were looking for. They had no idea where he was, and we were out covering it.
Oh, Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty scary because the police officer said, be careful. And we had to be careful. And that's just part of the thing. I had never been to a war zone. I would like to, but as an anchor, it's kind of tough sometimes to get away from the anchor desk. I would love to go in a war zone, but that was probably the scariest thing that I can remember recently was that. And that was just a couple days ago.
Jason.
All right.
What was your craziest time on the job?
I have had a lot of crazy times on the job, but let's see. Okay, one recently, and I work with Edith, so she will know this story well. Okay, so do you guys remember that big snowstorm a couple of months ago? Remember the snow? Remember that blizzard that we had?
That hit on my birthday.
It was in the winter time. There was a lot of snow. And we got a call that Long Island and Suffolk County got so much snow that there were people who were stuck in their cars all night. They couldn't get home.
Oh, the nor'easter?
It was even after that. So there was a blizzard and they had 30 inches of snow. So a Walmart that was supposed to close actually reopened its doors and people had to sleep in Walmart, right? So they said, our desk said, you have to go out there and see what it's like. So it took us 5 hours to get out because there was so much snow. And our cameraman had to dig out the snow as we were driving. He had to help, some cars got stuck and he was helping dig them out. We got the camera out, we're interviewing people. We finally got there, and then it was time to go home. We needed to get out before it got dark, right? And there's only one road out, and there were about 20 cars ahead of us. And they all got stuck in the snow, and there was no way out. So we had to sleep in the store. We spent the night in the store. So that was one of our cases. I was actually not working during Hurricane Sandy because I was home. I just had a child, so I was on leave, and I wasn't working at that time. So I wasn't in the hurricane. But good question. So that was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Right? And imagine sleeping in a store or a grocery store. With strangers, right? Let's say we just met and we said, okay, we're going to spend the night in a store.
Well,
We're gonna let him ask the questions. So this is an MOS. So it's your job as a reporter to make sure that you're keeping your questioning right, so that everybody has time to ask them questions. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
all right.
What's your favorite story you've ever covered, and why?
That's a good one. You really have to think about that. What's my favorite story that I've heard?
Okay, so we got till 11. All right, that means perfect. So we're going for we didn't see it in radio.
My favorite story, one of my favorite stories was covering the presidential election in 2008, because there was so much excitement around the country about that race. And there were so many candidates running for president, right? There was President Obama, who wasn't president at the time, and Hillary Clinton, right? John McCain, Sarah Palin, all these big names running for in the presidential election. And that was probably my favorite because I got to travel all over the country and meet all different kinds of people. So I think that was a favorite.
That was 2 questions, so we're gonna let the next person go, okay?
Hello, I'm Jason Melendez, and this is Turner and CNN New York's annual Bring Your Kids to Work Day. But this is actually the 20th anniversary of Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day, as it is officially called. Throughout the day, kids are given a chance to learn about what goes on in front of the cameras and behind the scenes at CNN and other networks like Cartoon Network and True TV. From producing to editing, writing to shooting, it's an interactive day in which we can be creative. The one thing I've learned that I didn't know is there's something controlling there is a teleprompter telling you the words to say. For CNN, this is Jason Melendez saying, keep on learning.